Hi, and welcome to this quick demonstration of your new ePedigree portal. So, your new ePedigree portal is composed in two components. First of all, the portal itself, where the customer will log on and retrieve their pedigrees, and then you have the admin panel, where you will be able to create your customers and the pedigrees. So let's begin with the administrator portal. Uh, First, you have the logon section where you will write your password. This password will be communicated to you with this video. So in your new portal, we have many sections. Um, the way it's structured is you need to create a customer and then create an order where you will add these pedigrees to the customer. So first of all, let's begin with the customers. So as you can see, the customers is currently empty, so we'll start with creating a first customer. So first of all, the customer ID is your internal ID you're using for the customer. So generally, it's recommended to use the same ID as your accounting system or your ordering system in order to have the same information everywhere. So for this example, we will say 123. Then the username. The username is the username who will be used here. As you can see, the user can also use the email, but the best way to use it is to use the username. So you can assign a username, for example, Xavier. First name and last name is the name of the customer. Then the telephone. These fields are not mandatory, but at least for the phone is highly suggested because it could be used for the pre-filling. So let's type a number. The email is required to let the users receive notifications and password retrievals if they forgot their password. So it's important to put their real email address. Then the system generates for you a password automatically, but if you want to use a different password, you can, or a custom password, you can type it here. And after that, I need to show you this checkbox is really important, because when it's checked, if you create a customer, the customer will receive immediately his new username and the generated password or the custom password you have typed to his email address. So sometimes, generally, a lot of our customers want to have this feature, but if for any reason you want to not send these information to a specific customer, you have simply to uncheck that checkbox. By default, this option is enabled, but if you want to disable by default, we have such option in the system. You just have to tell us to disable it, and we will do it for you. So after that, oh, I also forgot, you can select the type of the customer. So if it's an individual customer or if it's a business customer, so you have new fields like the company names and things like this. So the next tab is the address books. This tab is you must enter at least one address in the address book, so it will be used for the pre-filling for the pedigrees. So for example, so you have now added a new address to this customer. You can edit it, you can remove it, and then when it's done, you have other options who it's used by the customer who have the full portal, so they have the pedigrees and the e-commerce. But for the pedigree only portal, you don't need to change these options. Same thing here. These options are for advanced thing. You should simply need to keep it as is for the customers. So when it's done, you can click on save, and your new customer have been created. So also a quick note, you need to approve the customer. So simply click on the customer. You have the same view here. So that with the address book, the shipping, and you can approve it by checking this checkbox. You can do any change you need here. If you need to change a password, you simply need to click on this link, so the new password field will be showed. So, and now the customer is now approved. So it could be useful on some scenarios where one person will add the customer in the system and do all the typings, and then someone who is responsive will approve the customer. Some of our customer wants that type of system, but you can also approve immediately the customer at the creation by checking this checkbox. So now the customer have his account, and the detail, so the username and the password is sent by email. So the customer can log in with the provided information, and then the customer have his information here, his main portal to download the pedigrees. By default, the new order for the past 30 days will be showed here, and if he wants to have the full list of order, you can click here to see all your past orders. But in this case, the customer is freshly newly created, so this is why they have nothing in this listing. So let's create an order with the pedigree. In order to do that, you go in the order section, click on add order button, and then you will have a prompt asking you to select a customer. So you can search for his username, his email, first name, whatever. So you can type anything and then select the customer. You can pick items. Some customer using the portal for the pedigree only portal can create products who can be managed in the product management section, and then add the products one by one. So the pedigree could use that for pre-filling or also for reference, but it's not mandatory, and it's not a lot of our customer using that option. A lot do simply click on save change and it's done. Then you can create the new pedigree. So you have two options. You can click here to have the pedigrees list, and then to create this one is to create directly a new pedigree. So we'll create directly a new pedigree for this demonstration. So this is a form to create a pedigree document. You can enter here your reference number. Then you can enter or pick a date for the reference date, and you can insert, if you want, a supplier invoice number. After when I was saying the customer can have products for the reference and add these products to the order. So in this case, the product will be listed here and you will be able to pick the product in order to create the pedigree. But again, it's not used by a lot of customers, but the option is there if you want to use it. You have three sections. The first one, who you enter the reference date, the reference number, and you have some status information. The second one is the trail, where it's the component of your pedigree, and then the last one is the supporting document. So if you want to add supporting documents for further references, so it will be grouped with this order. It will be you can do that right here. So first, but the supporting documents is not mandatory, but the option is there if you need to use it. So the trails, we have three type of pedigree trails. The first one is a manual trail, the second one is the scanned trails, and then the repackager trails. So if you have, for example, a paper or a PDF you want to import in the pedigree, so you don't want to retype everything, you have already a PDF document, you can pick the scanned pedigree option, the scanned option. If you want to create a manual pedigree with the system, you will need to select manual pedigree type. Then you have a question here, the number of trail you need for this pedigree. So do you need one trail, two trail, or three trails, or five trails? They have no limits. So if you want 1,000,000 trails, you can do it, but I will not suggest to do that. So let's do a manual pedigree with 3 trails. Let's click on OK. And then you have the pedigree form. So all the fields of your pedigree is displayed here. So you will be able to enter the information where you need for your pedigree. So for example, you can say Viagra. Sorry, it's the first name it came up. And then you have an additional line for supplemental information. So you have well, it reproduces the same thing as your pedigree. So you enter the information you need. The NDC, so you can type the NDC, and the thing is interesting with the system is if you populate the system with the products you have, you may use the pedigree autofill, but actually, because they have no product in the database, and I'm pretty sure the NDC number is not a right pedigree number, this is why it says the pedigree number is not found. But you can use a real pedigree, the real NDC number, and with that NDC number, it will pre-fill manufacturer names and information like that. So you can continue to fill your form. So for the wholesaler, well, for the first part, you can use a pre-fill. So this list of company are populated by yourself, so you can create the manufacturers in the system and then use it for the pre-fill. I will show you that information later. But first, I have already created one for the purpose of this demonstration. So I simply have to pick the company here and click on OK. And then all the information is filled. So finally, you have the last section where you have your customer pre-filled. So you add the information you need, and then when you're done, you simply have to click on save, and your pedigree is generated. So if you click on view PDF, you can view the PDF generated with the information you have submitted. Some are using a pedigree document for each pedigree, and they're doing only one pedigree per document, but they add every trails. So for example, they are scanning or downloading the PDF from the manufacturer, importing it in the system, and then they create a new second trail for their own information, and then they create the last trail for the customer. Some are simply created the final trail and add more than one trails, so they create many pedigrees, more than one pedigrees in the same document. It's up to you. It's up to you to select the way you want to use the portal for that feature. When you're done with your trails, you have to click here, and you're back to the screen. You have to click on Save Changes. So the pedigree document will be saved, and you will be able to add other documents or do other operation. However, by default, the pedigree documents are not approved. That's what means if I go on the portal as a customer and I refresh, the order ID here will be displayed. It will show the stem of these pedigree, but they will be not shown because it's not approved. So what you need to know is the pedigree is not displayed to the customer unless it's approved. This approval feature is used by customers who have someone else creating the pedigrees, and then the person in charge will approve the pedigree and do the final verification. So you have here the not approved link. It's showing you the status is not approved. So you can click here and document is approved. If you want to revert that, you simply have to click on the approved word, and it's going back to not approved. If you go to the list of pedigree documents, you will see it here. The background is in brownish. it will tell you the document is not approved. You see it here, status not approved. So you click it and the document is now approved. You have also a visibility flag. It is the same thing as the approved flag, but the purpose is for the person not in charge of the pedigree. For example, you have reviewed the pedigree and everything is fine, but you want to hide the pedigree to the customer for any kind of reason, like the product have been not shipped yet, or any kind of reason. You can use this one, so you know the pedigree have been approved by the person in charge, but for any reason you have hidden it. So clerk can simply unhide the pedigree, and it knows the pedigree have been approved, so you don't have to review it again. So if you want to edit it, you can simply click here and you will have the edit form, and then you have the edit page where you can do any kind of change. So like I said, you have no limit on how many pedigree or trails you can add in a single document. I will highly suggest to check this option, so the information of your company will be displayed and pre-filled. So as you can see, the information is now pre-filled on this one, and you can add the information for the new customer, not the new customer, but for the new pedigree. So when you're done, click on save and the pedigree have been added. If you need to change the unique ID of the pedigree, you have the UUID option here, and you can add a unique ID here. Make sure this ID is really unique for your document. And if you need to change the order of, let me do a little change here. So you can add in any information. Generally, the system generates a unique ID here, but if you for any reason you need to add another name, you can simply rename it by clicking on the UUID link. And if you need also to change the order of the trails, because it will be displayed to the customer in the same order here. So if you need to change the order, you have the arrows here allowing you to change the order of the pedigree. And you can also delete a pedigree here if you need to remove it. Also, if you have a scanned pedigree, a PDF to import, you can simply click on scan, and if you want, you can also use the UUID form here, the UUID field here, to enter the unique ID you want. So for example, and then you have the form allowing you to upload a document. Click on browse and pick your PDF document, and then click on update a pedigree, and then your pedigree, your PDF document, it's important, it must be a PDF document, is added to your pedigree document. So, and if you need, you can change the order of the pedigrees. So when you're done, click on save and you can close it. Here for the customer, the pedigree is now visible because I have approved initially, not initially, but earlier, the pedigree document. So all the trails and pedigrees are now available for the customer, and can pick one, save or view it in their PDF reader. So So now it's conclude the part where the pedigree about pedigree creation. Now about the manufacturer. So you can manage a manufacturer in the system by going on products, manage manufacturers, and then you have the list of manufacturers. You can add other manufacturer by filling the form, and then your manufacturer information will be added to the system. If you need to edit the manufacturer, you have the pin, or if you want to erase the customer, not the customer but the manufacturer, you have the garbage can icon here, so you can pick the action you want here. Now about the products. So earlier in this demonstration I've talked about the products. So if you go on products, product management, you have the place where you can manage the products for your system. So actually we have no products. So now you can add products in the system by clicking a new product. Think here, you type the product ID of your product, the name. If you want, you can add a small description, but it's not required, especially in a pedigree formal portal where it's not required in a pedigree portal where the products is not shown to the customers. Markup group and product group, these tabs are not required since it's a pedigree portal. You don't have to set a product group or a markup group for selling the product. And then the attribute, so you can select here for example the NDC and set the value of the NDC and other information. However, generally the NDC will be enough for your need. So when you're done, you click on add product, and now the product have been added in the system. So that's conclude the quick demonstration of your new ePedigree portal. If you have any kind of question, feel free to contact us, and it will be a pleasure to answer to your question. Thanks.